What's good, everybody? Long time no see. No cars today. Came out to kind of work out, go for a walk, and I figured I can knock out multiple birds in one stone. Bringing my phone with me, and I don't know about you all, but this past full moon has been a doozy. Like body aches and everything. I think I honestly don't know how I still underestimate the power of full moons and new moons. I don't even remember which one it was. I think it was a full moon. Oh, was it a new moon? I think we're also in eclipse season, and we're heading towards Halloween, my favorite time of year. It's spooky season. It's spooky season, and I plan on getting real spooky this fall/winter. So stay tuned for that. I think some folks deserve to be scared. I think some people deserve to be scared. I like to state for the record, especially, let's see, we're a minute in. That's airplanes in the background. No need for worries. Well, what I want to chat about, let me see, it's September, Leo season. I'm not gonna lie, Leo season didn't quite go exactly the way I wanted it to go. However, it did go somewhere unexpected, and some much needed healing happened. I'm able to process a lot. Like, literally all it takes for me is just like connect. It's like once I connect one dot, then it just like 20 more just kind of comes with it, and then I'm just like, yeah, right. So this is definitely, I'm still in this kind of go for it energy. I think sometimes when I get when I'm approaching fire seasons, I get excited because in my mind I'm like, yeah, fire, this is when I'm gonna actually get shit done. Like, I'm always thinking fire to get things done. However, I keep forgetting that as I am a fire, and as we are in this Virgo season and being in this more earthy season, I'm feeling more grounded. I'm feeling more grounded, and am able to think back to because I guess a lot of the tarot readers and like other online personas, they were categorized kind of like describing this Leo season as a season to step into your authority, like stepping into your authority. And I kind of went somewhere physical with it. Like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and that. And like I said, what I wanted to do is not what I did. However, there's a brother that I have that I wouldn't say we have the best relationship. And long story short, we were able to actually talk some things out, because we have more in common. It's like, I knew that. It's like, hey, we actually have a lot in common. Like, I say that all the time about me and all my siblings, but unfortunately, everyone's not on the same level in their self-esteem. Like, that's the reality. Only reason there's ever sibling rivalry is low self-esteem, and the sooner we are willing to accept that and work on our self-esteem, the faster there won't ever be sibling rivalry. It wouldn't even matter what the parents tried to do, because if you have an intact self-esteem, it don't matter who tries to manipulate you, even if you're your own parent. But I mean, that's kind of, I want to say I'm deviating a little bit, but I'm rambling. I want to say this year especially has been a lot of me just rambling, really just getting, and I think I did mention when I started a year ago, I'm pushing through the perfectionism, and pushing through the perfectionism that always actually just leads me back to stagnancy, because it's like, if I can't do it perfect, then I don't want to do it. And then time goes by, and in that time I start making myself feel more bad. It's like, oh my goodness. But in having that conversation with my brother, and I think he realizes that I don't actually hate him. The annoying thing about dealing with siblings is this constant validation that people who seek validate. There's a lot of people who seek validation who likes to pretend like that's not what they're doing, or maybe some way in some way they've convinced themselves that that's not what they're doing because maybe they've seen worse. Cause like I don't know. I have no idea what I'm talking about right now, but I kind of don't want to stop. And I don't want to stop. I'm talking through it. This is my second or third time doing this, to be honest. Because the perfectionism. This is even the same outfit I shot it in the first time, and I decided to delete it. I mean, I'm not that bad. I feel like sometimes it's okay to delete a rough draft. However, I'm trying my best not to overly edit myself, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so moment of transparency, right? It's Virgo season. I do feel more in my authority. Long story short, it's like having the conversation, noticing things aren't going the way I want them to go, choosing to kind of go with where they're going, allowed me to process a lot and release. I was able to release a lot of tension that was up in my body because, you know, some childhood trauma stuff. There was, I dealt with addiction, right? When you deal with addiction in a household, it's like the adults, they know conceptually that what they're doing ain't the best thing in the world. But they never really know, like, because it's also partially individual, like how trauma affects me versus how the same trauma affects you. Actually, half of that has to do with how I am versus how you are, not necessarily the trauma itself. You know what I'm saying? Like how I react will differ from how you react, because if our personalities are different, then trauma, that's why we have the whole fight, or freeze. And if I'm not mistaken, freeze is something that was added later because it took a long time for people to even conceptualize freeze being one of the things. It's people, you know, we're so used to fighting or flighting. Because I also feel like part of the reason why freeze is one of the last things added is because especially adults hate to admit when they're actually stuck. Adults do not like to admit that they're stuck. And a lot of adults don't know that they're stuck. And I'm going to quote myself and I say some people don't know they're stuck because what's been working is still working. It's like, no, you're stuck in what's been working. That's why there's nothing new working. And God's not going to punish you for being stuck. They'll just let you go around. You know what I mean? God's not going to punish you for being confused. God's not going to punish you for just, right? For having, whoa, I'm sorry. These lantern flies. Oh my God. Get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm not deleting this. Animals love me. And sometimes bugs, it literally just crawled over like it was about to join in on the conversation. I didn't even see it coming. And I think it's the same one I kicked earlier. Like how I kicked you and then you come right to where I'm sitting. You know what I mean? Like, anyway. So it's crazy how part of what motivated me to even start this page is my stalkers. You know? Part of what motivated me is the stalkers, the misunderstandings, a lot of the drama that has been brewing behind my back because of lies and rumors and assumptions. For the record, I'm not sorry. I am not sorry. I am not sorry for what happened when somebody decided to believe a lie or make some crap up about me and actually run with that. It's one thing to listen to some gossip. It's another thing to make actual life impacting decisions based on those lies. And that's something I would never do. It's one thing to believe a lie. It's another thing to actually make an important decision based on that lie. I would never do that. Yeah, and so part of what I've been owning lately is how, I've been spiritually guided. I consider myself to be a spiritually guided person. And because I am. Like, if you can't see that, then you just can't see that, right? I came into this knowing that my audience might be a small one, and that's okay. Because, I'm just trying to do my best to answer my calling now after I fucked up, right? When you don't answer the calling once, you don't answer the calling twice. Sometimes, in other words, I'm owning how my not answering my calling sooner may have contributed to some of that drama and crap in the background. So I've owned it, and part of my owning it is me being willing to explain, or being willing to tell my side of the story, even though there's no story if you ask me. But being willing to tell my side of the story, being willing to be understanding, being willing to explain myself, being willing, because that's voluntary. It's like being willing to be transparent in spite of, right? That is me. That is, in my way, taking responsibility and even warning people, right? I've attempted to warn some people multiple times in multiple ways on multiple occasions about consequences of playing in my energy. There are consequences for playing in people's energy. There are consequences for attacking innocent people, and that's the part I'm not sorry about, right? So, like, I own that I definitely should have been answering this calling a while ago, and that my situation would be different. My situation would be a little different. It may not be perfect, but it would definitely be a little better than this and a little different. It's like I didn't take the step when I needed to take a step, and so now I'm in a position where I kind of have to take a leap. You understand? Like, if you don't do the steps, you don't do the steps, but then you realize you need to get up there, and it's like, damn. And now the steps you didn't take, say the steps disappeared, but you still need to get up there, and you're like, dang, I just made it a little harder for myself. What could have been 2 to 4 steps, now I have to take a leap because now them steps have disappeared. And so I own that, and I am, I guess, coming to that realization that is part of owning my authority, is recognizing how, it's me acknowledging and recognizing and accepting whatever karma I did deserve for sidestepping that calling and underestimating how important I might have been to certain situations. It's like maybe God was trying to put me in situations where people really needed me, and I am so caught up in dealing with users that I stopped thinking about those people that, like, really need the help, or the people that God want me to help. It's like, being a real healer is actually not overthinking whether or not you think somebody deserves to be helped. When somebody calls 911, right, in New York City, I don't know how it is in any other city, you call 911, the ambulance is obligated to come pick you up. They come pick you up or patch you up, something. The ambulance is their job to come assess the situation, assess if it's something they can help you out with on the spot. Like, do you just need some stitches real quick? They can do that in an ambulance, and then they can send you home. Do we need to take them to hospital? It's not the ambulance's job to stop in the middle of emergency and say, oh, but do you have insurance? But is this a good person? But do I like them? But are they cute? Like, no, you call 911, there's an emergency, you respond to the emergency, and there's other parts of the hospital that works out the rest. You hope for the best for everybody at that point. So I view being a healer like that. Like, I feel like this, I guess my disappointment in dealing with fake healers, people who call themselves healers but are only healers when they like you. Otherwise, they're just assholes, right? They're just assholes again. They're healers when they like you. They're assholes when they don't. And so, for the record, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry that I went to healing events. I showed up to healing events as a healer because I'm focused on healing and other people are focused on everything else. I'm not sorry. If y'all came to the healing events to find people to hook up with, okay. I showed up to healing events to find people who are serious about healing so we can heal, so we can maybe support each other in healing, and big emphasis on maybe, because this is not one of those things where it's like, if I don't have any friends, I can't do it. It's like, no, I'm going to do it either way. And it's unfortunate how many people I've told people, like, yeah, my mind is clear. Like, we talk all the time about clearing your mind. A lot of people think that's a myth. There's no such thing as actually clearing the mind. But it's mainly clear. Like, it's not racing. It's not running. Like, I'm actually here right now. Like, I'm actually present. I'm actually here right now. Although it might not seem like it because I'm looking around like this and stuff. That's just still me being a little bit self-conscious about folks rolling up on me. But, and it's unfortunate that I bring that up in a conversation, and it's perfectly okay for somebody to not believe me. It's perfectly okay, but to call yourself needing to test me, now you're going to test me, and then I pass the test, and then what? And it's like, oh, you passed the test. We believe you now. You're not doing me no favors. Like, y'all are not doing me any favors. You're not even paying me you didn't even pay me for the time I already gave. My consultation costs way more than people think. And I view this period of time that I've been in as me serving the karma for whatever, the calling that I didn't answer. In other words, God got me volunteering. God got me volunteering a little bit and sitting on the bench for a little bit. Because it's like, if you really don't want to play, then we'll gladly put you on the bench. And you can just watch and cheer from the sideline. And one lesson I'm learning is that, unfortunately, what happens is I'm watching fake healers out here destroy other people's lives. And I do feel some responsibility for it. But do know, I don't feel like I owe y'all my life. People literally had the wherewithal to pick up the phone, contact me on Instagram, get my phone number, have me call you on my phone, and still not ask me a single question. If somebody told you some lie or some rumor, and you had access to me to ask me, well, Z, I heard that you're a player. You should, if it's, no disrespect, because, that's how everybody talk now. I don't mean any disrespect by this, but I heard this and that about you. Like, what have you to say about that or something? As opposed to spying on people illegally, because that's illegal. Illegally spying on people because you want to see how they are when you're not looking, but you're dealing with somebody who's already intuitive, and you're dealing with somebody who try to tell you they're in a toxic environment, right? So it's like, I'm already in a toxic environment. I've just made it a practice to not front. I've made it a practice to not front. If I'm having a hard time, then I'm having a hard time. If you ask me how I'm doing and that's what's on my mind that day, that's what I'm gonna say. But I'm not in any way, shape, and form trying to pull anybody's heartstrings or get anything out of anybody. And it's extra unfortunate for me because, to me, I'm meeting people who are in similar situations, and I'm in a toxic situation. You're in a toxic situation. And the biggest difference between the two of us is you're in denial and I'm not. I know my situation is toxic and I know I need to get out of it. And so when I meet other people who are also in toxic situations, in my mind, I'm like, hey, let's put our two heads together and let's roll our ass away from the toxicity. Which is really also more of a proposition. Nothing is obligation. Everything is proposition. Nothing is obligation. And I have no problem going alone. I have no problem. It doesn't hurt my feelings to have nobody to split my winnings with. And so everyone who's been feeding off my energy up to this point, you had your opportunity. You had your investment. Whatever money or energy you took behind my back, you should have invested it better. Because it's time for me to plan. It's time for me to plan to go. And so yeah, like I said, that situation and my stalker situation, I feel like I was scared straight. Like I feel like I was scared straight. Like I feel like I was faced with the dangers of wandering off my path. I feel like God wanted me to learn my lesson about that. Like, hey, this is the path we kind of laid out for you. And kind of what my dad used to say, like, as my dad, in his mind, he wanted to make things easier for me. So he would try to do things for me and like give me certain kinds of advice. And it's like, I appreciated his intention, but the execution wasn't that great and like wasn't really making things easier. It's like, it's funny how, oh man, and I get it. Everyone's not perfect, and sometimes you got to take help from where it's genuine, even if it's from a person that's not perfect. Because there's plenty of folks that I was probably judging them a little bit and not accepting their help, or even not even judging them, but also maybe just being in my ego and in my mind. I'm like, because I'm usually able to just kind of manifest myself a new situation pretty quickly. I'm usually able to turn a tide pretty quickly, and this is one of those times where it wasn't happening like that. But I learned why, right? Like, this was part of my karma. This was part of the karma of not answering the call. Then, there was a bunch of other things that happened over the last, I'm going to say 2-3 years especially, that's just shown me why I'm on the bench. And even the other tarot readers, there's other tarot readers that I would watch, and they would word it that way. They would say, God is benching you because God is benching you. I'm like, oh, like I'm benched. Like, I'm not on the court. It's like coach called me to the court, and I was scared, and so it's like, all right, I guess you're on the bench then. I never really had a chance to show coach what I got. So of course you're not thinking of me for the next game and the next game after that. I'm still on the bench. It makes sense. And so it's like, sorry, not sorry for those people who call themselves wanting to test me and playing my energy because they didn't believe that I was a real shaman. I'm sorry if nobody told you were one. If I told you you're a shaman, it's because you are. Like attracts like, and I don't like talking to people who's not. And it's actually just, it's sad. I meet people who are extremely magical, extremely brilliant, and they're using their brilliance to stab me in the back. It's like, it didn't prove nothing to nobody doing that. But just showed me you're a backstabber. Okay, you're brilliant and a backstabber. Thanks for letting me know, type thing, And so, to the stalkers who, I don't know, I just feel like the stalkers did a really bad job at keeping up. I feel like people have been stalking me to study me, and I feel like folks haven't learned anything. I feel like people have been stalking me to study me, but haven't learned anything. Which is actually just became more and more entertaining for me, because what else am I going to do with it but be entertained by it? I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at this. That's my number on here, 307. I like those. I like the numbers 3 and 7. So, like, that's interesting. So, for all the people who are studying me, people who've been stalking and studying me, I'd like to state for the record, the test is over. Everybody who's been testing me didn't understand the test. Everybody who's been testing me, you didn't understand the test. You're not supposed to be testing me. I am the test. I am the test, and nobody passed. I want to say there's a few people who didn't fail because they did make the offer. That's why their lives are not falling apart. But they don't necessarily get an A either. and everyone else just failed completely miserably. Like, you may as well have not showed up for the test that day. You might as well just not showed up, and it took a 0. That's how bad people did on this test. Because not only have people failed the test, but people are still behind my back trying to cover up the fact that they failed the test. First, it's like it took them a while to even catch on to the fact that they're being tested. Then it's like, oh crap, not only am I being tested, I think I'm being watched, right? So then it's like, quick, sweep it under the rug. Quick, sweep it under the rug. And folks think I don't notice, metaphorically speaking, people think I don't notice them passing around the murder weapon, looking for a perfect place to bury it, or looking for the perfect fall guy, right? And so it's hard to feel bad. And I know these people are going to be mad at me. It's like, it must be my fault that they ruined their lives because somebody told them a lie about me and they believed it. And I just also, maybe I should point out to those people that it doesn't matter who the lie is about. The point is that you believe the lie. It doesn't really have anything to do with me. And I didn't decide that I was the main character. Y'all keep deciding that I'm the main character, right? It's like when I do something great, people literally when you're doing something great, people go out of their way to ignore it. You do one little thing that someone decided is strange, and they'll take that one little thing and they really try to like build a whole case around somebody being a little bit weird or different or strange. And I know a lot of people are feeling stupid because that's not illegal. It's not illegal for me to be strange. It's also not illegal for me to be an asshole. So even if I wasn't a nice person, that's not illegal. Sometimes you pass the test because you're the only one with clean hands. Sometimes you pass the test because you're the only one with clean hands. May those with the clean hands, may everybody with clean hands raise their hand. Right? Thor doesn't have to fight you for the hammer. He could just sit back and let you hurt yourself trying to lift that hammer. Right? And so people keep waiting for me to do something. I don't need to do nothing. You're going to hurt yourself trying to lift the hammer. That's not for you. That's my hammer. That's my sword. You want to steal the sword and then come crying to me because you cut yourself? You want to steal my hammer and then come crying to me because it tore your arm off? Even after I told everybody not to? Not only did I tell you, God told you, people are getting readings behind my back. I already know. The readers know that I know at this point because the test is over. That's why. Things are becoming clearer right now because the test is over. The test is over. You're getting the answer key. And this is sort of like the after test processing and studying and preparation for a next test, because there's always a next test. And I actually even used to be one of those people that didn't believe in tests. So this is just me talking, rambling. It's definitely time for me to get more into my boss energy. That's also, I like Virgo energy for that too. I feel like Leo and Virgo is boss energy. Beyonce and Michael Jackson are Virgos, by the way. It's one of the reasons she keeps dressing up like Michael Jackson. Beyonce's trying to show you, like, I am the Michael Jackson of our generation. Y'all can keep fronting if y'all want to. And she really is, so it's like, y'all can front if y'all want to. Man. So for the stalkers and studiers, the test is over. I need you to go about your life. And or some of you, and a very few of you, because a lot of you can definitely go about your life, but there's a very, very, very few And God will tell you, Spirit will tell you which ones you are. There's very, 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 very few. It's like if you feel like I got something to teach you, then I suggest you get your coins together and pay me. Right? The consultation and the energy you actually pay or barter for, it works way better. The medicine you pay for works 100 times better than medicine you'll steal from me. I'm gonna say that one more time. The medicine you pay for works 10 times better, 100 times better than any medicine you could steal from me. As fast as people understand that, the faster you can actually just pay. So everybody watching and studying and sitting in confusion, just a quick reminder, you could just ask me a question. There's this thing called Ask a Question. You could go online, you could look for my Cash App, you could put in $300, $400, $500, and you can say, for spiritual consultation. Now, I can't stop you from just putting the money in there, to be honest. And if I really don't want to do it, I have to go through the trouble of sending you that money back. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to give you exactly what you paid for. What? You could ask me ahead of time, how much? How much for an hour? How much for, hell, that's why it's like it doesn't even matter. If you got money, people got money. Folks out here flexing. Well, that's just park vehicle, no worries. Folks out here flexing how much money they got, while at the same time trying to study me to steal ideas. And then you wonder why God's not giving you more money. You're not even using the money God gave you for what He gave it to you for. If you're gonna waste it on bullshit, then I've done it. I've wasted money on bullshit. I've spent a lot of money on weed. In retrospect, you know, it sounds crazy to say it now, but if I would have saved $5 a week for the last 5 years, I would have had a couple $100 saved up, right? And so I know I feel like the biggest difference between me and most people is I don't front. I don't do denial. Your energy vibrates higher when you're authentically you, not perfectly you. You raise your vibration by loving and accepting yourself. And part of the reason I'm saying this too is because I know some of those people playing on my energy, you're really fucking. Let me tell you why you fuck. Let me tell you where you really fucked up at. I'm gonna tell you where you fucked up at, and it had nothing to do with me. Again, I'm just a player. I'm just one of God's pawns. Maybe I'm more of a knight than a pawn, somewhat, I guess. But whatever. But like in as far as the chessboard is concerned, I really might be more of a queen than anything. But I say it because I'm gonna tell you. I want to tell folks where they fucked up at. We do this a lot of times. We approach healing like we're fixing ourselves. Healing isn't necessarily fixing. And I realize that. I realize a lot of people who are even self-proclaimed healers, they're using the word heal in they're using the word heal in the same way they would use the word fix. You know, the way you fix a car, you fix a bike, you fix the road. Sometimes the most impactful healing you could do for yourself in the moment is to love and accept yourself. Look, the fastest way to start raising your vibration right now is to start to love yourself more right now. is to accept yourself more right now. It's the only way. The only thing that can change in an instant is you. You can change your mind. You can change a perspective. The only thing, one of the main, I want to say one of the only things, because maybe there's something else I'm not thinking of right now, that can change in an instant is your perspective. When your world changes as fast as your perspective does. And when you stop viewing yourself as something as broken, stop viewing yourself as something that's broken and needs to be fixed, rather than someone who hasn't been loved properly, who just needs to be properly loved. Sometimes God will send a person into your life, someone like me, to love you where you're at. To love you where you're at and how you are. Just to show you that it is possible. Not for you to beat up that person and say, oh, you must be full of crap. Okay, pardon my pause, because there's a plane and a shirtless man walking by me right now. It's okay. And also, it wouldn't hurt for me to take a minute. I've been playing with this piece. Kind of like this. I've been doing some woodworking lately, and like I see stuff like this and I'm like, I think I can carve stone too if I had the right tools, or at least shave it. That's something along those lines. That is a good idea. Oh yeah, I'm partially out here getting my tan on, because I don't think people don't realize how dark I can get. I'm just gonna have to have really light boobs, whatever. I'm gonna have really light boobs and dark shoulders. Whatevs. Oh, so yeah. And then we go find people who believe the same philosophy. So like, oh, I'm trying to fix myself. I need help in fixing myself. I'm gonna tell you why I sympathize, while at the same time it's like, sorry, not sorry. Because it's the child in you. That's the child in you. It's the child in you who it's the child in you who maybe haven't been told. The child in you maybe the child in you have not been told something like this. I will love you no matter what. I will love you no matter what. You know, I want you to go out there. I want you to give your best. Just do your best. Sometimes shit happens. Sometimes you'll fail. But there will be less regrets when you are operating in good intention. You're operating in good intention, and you're out there trying to do the right thing, and you're out there trying to improve yourself. You don't always get exactly what you want, but you still win in the end. And I will love you no matter what. Like, unfortunately, we haven't had parents or even siblings to tell us, I will love you no matter what. And unfortunately, sometimes the one parent who appears to love you no matter what loves you more for being the toxic version of you that you are. If you have the kind of, because there's a catch-22, right? Because there is such thing as having rules and boundaries and even punishments for kids who crosses those boundaries, while at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us haven't had that kind of balanced parenting. The balanced parenting where there's a punishment for doing something we shouldn't do, like lie and steal. Instead, we'll have these toxic parents that will say, I love you no matter what. But really, they're saying that as you are doing toxic shit. Whereas when you start to actually improve, when you start to look happier and healthier and look like you're doing better, they actually start to act funky around you. And so there's this false sense of loving unconditionally. And like I love my mom to death, but it's a lie. She doesn't love you unconditionally. She doesn't. And it just appears that way. And this might be, I don't know, this might be some bias to this. But I feel like between women and men, I feel like women are better at going along with things, even when they're not, because we're so used to doing it, right? It's a man's world. Man makes all the rules, and women have to go along with it. So I feel like women are a little more accustomed to going along with things, while at the same time always in contemplation of how they can make that situation work for themselves. And so, I mean, that's a conversation in and of itself about my mom. I love my mom. I love everyone. But guess what? I'm going to love everyone from a distance. I'm going to love everyone from a distance, from my cushion mansion, God knows where. I haven't bought it yet. But I've been watching Charmed, right? And I love how they live in this big pink house. And I've always wanted a big pink house to match the one in Charmed, how they have like the power of 3. And so, you know, I don't want to tell too much of some of my hopes and aspirations, life, because I don't. But yeah, I'm like, that'll be nice. Me and my 2 wives. Me and my 2 wives and our big pink house and our power of 3, right? And so I've been drawing some inspiration. In fact, I'm gonna wrap it up soon. I try to keep these posts in like 45-minute range. So I feel like that's like just long enough. But for all those, especially those beginner witches out there, I want to say watch shows like Charmed. I actually think they have a better handle on it than it appears. Like, I feel like sometimes we get overly caught up in whether or not we like the show, and like just not seeing the tidbits. Because like when you watch the original Charm, because I watched both of them. Like, there's the original Charm with Alyssa Milano, right? And then we have this Charmed reboot. I want to say the original one is probably better. It's more thorough. Like, you can tell I feel like they actually did some research, and actually had conversations with real witches about experiences that they've had. Because I feel like they're not really shooting off the cuff that much when you get into it. And, like, sometimes you got to forget, like, the corniness of the show, and, like, the special effects is not that great, But, I'm sorry, it's that thing again trying to get me. I don't want to talk to you. Get out of here. I'm sorry. I'm answering flies. But, it's literally walking right up to me. Like, but I feel like we can learn so much from those shows. It's like when you really stop and think about the basic themes of each episode, right? They're talking about destiny swapping. They're talking about people are constantly trying to come in, like demons and evil witches and just bad people. They're constantly trying to come into the house to steal the book, right? People are constantly trying to steal their magical secrets. And this is something that I deal with constantly. People are constantly trying to steal their magical book, trying to figure out what their magical secrets are. People are constantly trying to, they've dealt with several forms of doppelgangers, shapeshifters. I remember there was one episode where all 3 of them were copied. Like, somebody did and this is real life, somebody did a spell on them to make people not be able to see them anymore. And I forget what you call these, like cloaking spells. Like, I could do a cloaking spell on you to make people not see you, but then I could do like a glamour spell on me and make it so that when people look at me, they see you, and then call myself trying to replace you in the world. Like, there were several episodes of some girls being replaced by some kind of shapeshifter or spell worker or illusion spinner. You know what I'm saying? And so I just feel like don't I feel like for the spiritual beginners out there, do it because you mean it. Don't be into this spiritual stuff all willy-nilly. Folks are out here ruining their lives and not telling you about it. Folks are literally out here ruining their lives and just keeping up a front. They still go to the party, or they still go to the club, they still go to the birthday party with a big old smile on their face, fronting like they didn't just get that, diagnosis from the doctor, fronting like they didn't just get that eviction letter from the landlord, fronting like they didn't just get into that car accident. People are able to do that. Stop buying that crap. Stop buying people's fronts. And if you're serious about being a healer, then heal. If you find yourself out here attacking people, first of all, there's nothing in the healer rule book that says you need to be testing anybody. Y'all need to stop that. If you don't believe them, then don't believe them. Leave them alone. If you don't believe them, then you don't believe them. Nobody told you need to go test people. Because even if they were lying, you would still get karma for it, because God did not tell you to do that. If Spirit didn't send you over there to test them, you're still doing something you wasn't supposed to do. And you'll still get karma for it. Also, but yeah, it's like, because I'm watching shows like that, and I'm like, it's so simple. The fact that the show is corny makes it even simpler. You know what I mean? The concepts aren't hard. They're the glamour spells, the cloaking, like they're using it all the time in these shows. And even in Charmed, they'll even lecture each other, and they'll be like, hey, I was thinking about doing this so I can get this job. And they'll go, oh, using magic for personal gain, you're going to have to pay for that. Right? So we have these shows on television that literally taught us how to be good witches. Shows like Charmed and like Ghost Whisperer, for the most part, they're actually showing you how to be good witches. That's why Charmed has a white lighter, like a spirit guide, right? It's kind of their way of saying, we're good witches, and they're constantly fighting demons and evil witches. And so, like, that is the life. The life of a good witch is that you're constantly being attacked by evil witches, haters, regular people who are just haters. I have magic and they don't. Well, actually, everybody hating on me actually has magic. That's what's sad. That's what's extra sad about this. Everybody that's hating on me actually, just unfortunately, is just not seeing themselves. They're not seeing the magic in themselves. They're not allowing themselves to see how amazing they are through my mirror. They see how amazing I am. That's why they're a hater. But that's being short-sighted. Like, if they didn't stop there, they would actually take it a step further and be like, oh, like attracts like. If I think they're amazing, then I must be amazing. If I think they're magical, then I must be magical. It's nothing to prove. I have absolutely nothing to prove to anybody. And so, yeah, so I wrap that up with this actually large reason why I am even doing this channel. I want the newbies to have someone who's integral to listen to, because there's too many people out here pretending to know what they're doing, ruining lives. And so I feel like I need to do my due diligence by actually just being available to those who truly do want to learn and not ruin their lives. I would never ever, I don't go above my pay grade. I will teach you what I know, and if you come across something I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. There are some things we can look up together, we can maybe explore it together, and or I might be able to make a recommendation. oh, I know this other healer, or I met this person 5 years ago, I met this person a couple years back, or, you know what I mean? Uh, that's what a professional does. To help you with what they can help you with, and then they can make recommendations for the other work that needs to be done. They can make recommendations for what's above their pay rate, or just out of the realm of what they do. Right? Folks is out here trying to be something they're not, and literally ruining lives. It's not funny. Like, folks was laughing. I was warning y'all on my Instagram, literally warning y'all, and y'all were laughing. I'm warning you because of how it's going to affect you. Whatever effect it was going to have, it already had it. If you don't know what somebody's truly been through in their life, do not destiny swap with them. You don't really know my life enough to just, oh, I want that destiny. You want this destiny. This is the dumbest thing. And we keep, the internet is here to trick us. The internet is here to trick you. Remember, why would the government ban books but continue to let people teach spirituality on Instagram? If they wasn't sure that at least more than half of y'all have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. They're more than happy for you to go up here and steer everyone wrong. Always never assume because you're the approved, that you were approved because you were right. Sometimes you're approved because you're exactly wrong. And you'll lead people in the exact perfect wrong place. Okay? Let's stop trying to be right. Let's stop competing. Too much competitiveness is a block lower chakra, okay? That's all I know. If I encounter somebody who's being overly competitive, and I'm just like, okay, they've got some root chakra issues. Because with a person who's truly awake is not competitive. Outside of on a court. You want to play basketball or whatever, then yeah, you got to be a little competitive on that court, on that field. I say this all the time. The only place competitiveness actually fits is in sports. We don't even need half these wars. Oh, this is war, this war. We're not at war. We're not at war. We're attacking innocent people, and they're fighting back. And then we call it a war. It's not a war. Anyway. We're at war. Like, no. If I walk up to you and start the fight, I would go to jail. Regardless of how that fight goes. You won't go to jail with me if there's enough witnesses to say this person came out of nowhere and started the fight. But that's... I'm a little bit all over the place, but whatever. I'm a triple Aquarius. We are all over the place, and it is what it is. Like it, you know? You gotta love me or leave me alone. 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 Right? You gotta love me or leave me alone. You're not gonna be, folks are not about to be in my face being fake nice, but for too much longer. And one thing you can guarantee is, oh yeah, so yeah, that's so all of that inspired this page. Watching people ruin their lives and because they have no idea what the fuck they're doing. And so, if someone is intuitive enough, if someone comes across this page and is intuitive enough to know that I'm at the very least saying what I know and staying in my lane, folks will find me. When folks are ready for truth, they'll find me. Come on, get out of here. I'm sorry. It's like they're harmless but creepy looking at the same time. The way they're just, it's like, it's crawling slowly towards me like I don't see them or something. Like, I have no idea what point they're trying to make. But see, that's the nag. That's the or maybe that is even my light, right? They're lightning flies. And so part of me was hoping that the stalkers were watching my YouTube channel. I can tell y'all stopped watching. I can tell y'all were watching at first. And then you're probably caught up in your own drama. Probably caught up in the mess that you made. Even though I'm literally posting 45-minute, 50-minute videos. This is going on an hour. I posted hour-long videos explaining why attacking me is a bad idea. Like if the folks stalking me would have put together a lot of the things I've said in posts over the past year, I've explained in detail why you should not be playing in my energy, why you should not be playing in anybody's energy, why you should not even be calling yourself a healer if that's not what you're really out here trying to do. Too much spiritual bypassing is how you get the psychosis, and then when you're in the psychosis and when you start having these great ideas to plot somebody's murder, like who do you think you are? We didn't watch too much television. Everybody think they're a mob boss. They get one white friend, right? Black people do this all the time. They get one white friend and start thinking they got their connections to the mafia or something. I explained in detail, everybody gets karma. Everybody watching and not helping gets karma. So if y'all been watching me knowing I need help, even if you're not supposed to, I mean, like, is there even a supposed to? Again, I have Cash App. There's nothing blocking people from putting money in my Cash App account. I'll be blocking people from everything except Cash App. So if you want to talk to me, you got to put some money in the Cash App. And send a private message or something. Because I don't know. So, yeah. So that's just my update. Life is lifing. Life is lifing. I seen this quote. I'm going to end with a quote. Of a meme. It's not gonna be a perfect quote because I read a meme. He said, "Life be fucking me, but I'm a freak, so I fuck back." Peace.